Yo, so honestly, I just got word of this, but I'm not gonna lie to you. From everything that I've heard so far, shout out to Academic, shout out to Poetic Flacco. Sounds like we got another Lil Durk wannabe, another you know individuals out here putting hits out on people. So let me see what Flacco talking about.
True about this conspiracy. And the conspiracy that I'm referring to is the conspiracy that T Grizzly enlisted the help of Chicago dudes that he knew to murder his aunt Jovina Brown, who he impregnated to make that scandal go away and to retain back his masters from it. I've been trying to uncover what's true about this and what's not true about this. There's a lot of inconsistency in this story, but the one thing that's consistent, after speaking to a lot of people, receiving information from Jobina Brown's camp, from people within T Grizzly's camp, after having information from them transfer over to me, the one thing that is consistent, it's not looking good for T Grizzly. That's the only thing that's consistent so far.
Brown, the manager and aunt of T Grizzly, was shot and killed in Detroit on Tuesday night, August 20th. Comments about her death began surfacing Wednesday, August 21st on social media before her passing was confirmed by TMZ. According to law enforcement sources, a shooter opened fire on Grizzly's Cadillac Escalade while the vehicle was traveling around Detroit. The gunman allegedly approached on foot and shot Brown, who was sitting in the back seat in her left side. Grizzly was reportedly riding in the passenger seat and got out of the vehicle as the shooter approached. The driver said the attacker fired 3 or 4 shots and noted that Brown screamed before the gunfire began. Brown was rushed to a local hospital but died from her wounds. She was 41 years old. Police don't know if Grizzly was the intended target of the attack. He and the driver were unharmed.
From my perspective, this entire story begins when the first and only suspect who has been arrested so far was arrested 2 months after the incident.
All right, so let me hop in right quick because what I also heard was that another woman, supposedly his who they call his auntie, has taken a stand and said that there was some inconsistencies in T Grizzly's story that he told, I guess, on a podcast or something, where he says that uh, when the lady got shot, his auntie got shot in his car, that I guess he was looking out the window or he ran to the window to look out. And a young lady said that that's not the story. What happened was, I guess he was going to her house when he was knocking on her door to come in. Is when the shots were actually fired. And, you know, and I think she also said something along the lines is he didn't look startled by the gunshots. Like, when the gunshots started ringing out, he didn't run, he didn't, duck. He was just like, you know, just gunshots. So I'll see if I can find that footage as well, so y'all could, check that out too. But yeah, it's not looking good.
When Wu Thing, aka Wu 600 from Chicago, was initially arrested for the murder of T Grizzly's auntie Jobina Brown, the streets of Detroit was talking almost immediately. People was calling this a backdoor from the very beginning.
I love my kids, but I also love not being broke. So this back to school season, I'm just
Everybody on the mud east side know that, nigga. I'm been facts. What you talking about? How the you don't know? You mean? You know, everybody who killed everybody and popped everybody, but you don't know how son they got down on auntie though. Bro, what you they got a crime reporter and shit? You mean?
People initially thought when people in Detroit was calling it a backdoor, they were referring to OTF or 600 backdooring T Grizzly. Because at the time, T Grizzly was really close with OTF and 600 through Buka 600. So when a 600 member murdered his auntie, People thought, man, the OTF or 600 like backdoor T Grizzly. It wasn't until time went by and people began to put the pieces together.
Well, let me say something else that I heard as well. Somebody else said that, and he just said it as well. I think the people just said it on the news or whatever, but they said that the killers opened the car door, and they even said that she screamed. So they opened the car door, seen it wasn't T Grizzly, and shot the young lady anyway. To me, that right there is a dead giveaway. Because if I'm coming for T Grizzly and T Grizzly is right there, a few steps away from the car, fuck, I'm not going in the car. I'm going for T Grizzly. If T Grizzly's right there, I'm going to go, what the fuck am I going to the car to shoot for when I see T Grizzly is not even in the car? So, it was a hit on her. You know, nobody, this ain't the movies. Niggas don't kill somebody close to you, to get to you type shit. Like, he's already there. I'm not about to kill her and then, all right, I'm going to kill her and then I'm going to wait for him to come find. Nigga, that's the movies. That shit don't happen in real life. Nigga, there is no coming to, no, nigga, once you shoot and kill somebody, you going to jail. And I'm going to tell you another thing. It's just, as you get older in life, you understand that there's really no such thing as coincidence. Like, there's no it's not a coincidence that she was in the drive in that car at that time. That's not a coincidence. That's a setup. Okay? Period. I mean, he's getting out the car. She's his manager, his so-called auntie. Why is she not getting out the car? It's a bad neighborhood from what I also heard some people saying. So why didn't they both get out the car to go into the house to do whatever needed to be done? Shit just doesn't add up. So let's keep going.
Like, hold on. OTF for 600 couldn't have backdoored T Grizzly because the killer of T Grizzly Wu-Tang was arrested in 2019. In 2022 or 2023, T Grizzly did a joint album with Lil Durk. In 2024, T Grizzly made Buka 600 right-hand man with the killer Wu-Tang his groomsmen for his wedding. So T Grizzly was becoming closer, like probably closer than ever, with the alleged parties that murdered his auntie. So it couldn't have been a backdoor, because if it was a backdoor, if he felt like his life was in danger, because T Grizzly did multiple interviews saying that they were coming after him, that the shooters opened up the car door looking for him. So if the parties who murdered your auntie was actually looking for you, then you wouldn't be like friendlier with them. You wouldn't be closer with them. You wouldn't make Buka 600 your groomsman. You wouldn't, right, like do a song with Lil Durk or a joint album with Lil Durk. And the only Lil Durk ties here is Buka 600 is signed to OTF. But Lil Durk has nothing to do with this whatsoever. So that's when the theories of, okay, maybe T Grizzly backdoored his auntie. Maybe T Grizzly set his auntie up to be killed. Now, I have the full indictment of Wu-Tang, and the full indictment, I believe, tells a story that leans more towards somebody backdoored that auntie. I don't know if it's T Grizzly, but the indictment and the story told in the indictment lends me to believe that somebody backdoored that auntie. Let's get into the full indictment and what evidence they got on Wu-Tang that led to his arrest. The police was able to trace the getaway vehicle, which was a blue Nissan with the license plates HRK 4937. They traveled to Michigan the day before, and then 2 hours after the homicide, they traveled to Chicago. The vehicle was a rental car, so when they didn't return the vehicle after the homicide, Hertz Rental reported the vehicle stolen. Even though the vehicle was reported stolen, even though the vehicle was involved in a homicide 2 months prior, Wu-Tang was still driving around Chicago in that vehicle, knowing how hot it was. Well, he was parked in the alleyway one night, October 2019. He was parked in the alleyway. The police pulled up because they ran the tags and they seen the vehicle was reported stolen. They attempted to initiate a stop. He ran away. He was eventually caught. He was ultimately arrested and charged for being in possession of a stolen vehicle, But get this, and this is where you really start to look at these dudes
The
like,
guns match up.
y'all are just professional doofuses. So on top of being caught in a stolen vehicle that was used in a homicide 2 months prior, he was also caught with a firearm. And after ballistics was done
murder
on
weapon.
the firearm that he was arrested with, ballistics shows that not only was the vehicle connected to the homicide, not only was the vehicle identified as being a getaway vehicle of the homicide of Jobina Brown, but he was also found in possession of the firearm that was also used in the murder of Jobina Brown. Ballistics shows that this was the firearm that killed Jobina Brown. This is where we introduce new information that I didn't include in my last video. And this is the part of the video where we start looking at T Grizzly a little crazy. We start looking at T Grizzly with a side eye here. You see, T Grizzly told a story of what happened the night of the murder. T Grizzly stated that he was with his auntie / manager, Jobina Brown. They made a last-minute stop at one of his other auntie's crib for him to check on some business. Jobina Brown decided to stay in the car and wait outside because she didn't like germs. He was only going to go inside and come back out right away. It was a last-minute pit stop, right? Let's hear T Grizzly tell the story, and we're about to find out why this new information that we received kind of blow up that version of the story and kind of not only would I say debunks it.
Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
God damn, these fucking ads, man. What the fuck?
For you, it's about more than getting the job done. You'll keep
Like, they
going.
know I'm streaming and shit.
But kind of makes us start thinking that maybe T Grizzly is telling some fibs here.
So the night everything happened, man. Can you kind of go over that night with us? I know y'all was.
All right, so this is the information I was talking about a minute ago, where he's gonna tell this story, and then the story that his auntie tells is gonna be totally different.
At the studio, I seen you on your Instagram.
Yeah, so we was at the studio with Guapo and Jay Swan or whatever. And I'm going to my cousin's house, my older cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He was real close with my pops. It's like my pop's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to, you know what I'm saying, show him some love because that's another wound we really ain't healed from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I went over there. And I was telling her, like, come in the house. And she's like, no, I don't want to go in. I'm begging her to come in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, certain areas, you just can't, you got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't about where you at. I can go anywhere I want to.
Right.
But I got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm moving right, can't nothing happen to me. So I'm telling her to come in the house. She's like, no. Because JB was kind of like funny acting about dirty houses.
Okay.
And stuff like that. The house wasn't even dirty, but to her, she just a clean, real clean person.
Okay.
It's like, no, I don't want to go in them people's house. I don't want to sit on their furniture and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I'm knocking on the door. My people's taking so long to come to the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they finally come to the door. As soon as I see her, as soon as I see my auntie,
Mm-hmm.
she got to open the door. I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. You know what I'm saying?
Behind
me. I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. So I get down because I'm thinking they about to come to the side and start, you know what I'm saying, shooting at me, and I ain't got nothing on me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin ran out with a gun. I'm like, perfect. So we ran out on the street. When we ran out, my driver was gone with no cars out there. I'm like,
She was in the. So when was the vehicle? She was in the car.
Like, she was in the car. She was in the car.
Okay.
She was in the car on the street. So my cousin ran out with the gun or whatever, and we ran out in the front to see what's going on and to. If somebody up on us, we gonna get them off us. Basically what happened, they walked up to my door and opened my door. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas opened my door, trying to get at me. Ended up hitting her up.
Where they hit her on the body?
They hit her on her side and in her arm. She didn't hit her face, like just all on her side.
So they shot her 8 times, guys.
On the side
Eight times.
Yeah, on the side like where her heart at too. So
That's half a clip.
The killers were looking for him because he exited out of the vehicle from a specific side of the car. When he exited out of the vehicle, he went to the side porch to get let in. The killers couldn't see he was at the side porch, but they knew what side of the vehicle he was in. So when the killers seen the vehicle was parked, they went to the vehicle and opened up the side of the vehicle that T Grizzly was sitting in before he exited out. They opened it up and began to shoot at the auntie because they thought the auntie was him because they thought he was sitting there. Again, if the killers couldn't see T Grizzly because he was at the side porch, that would mean they didn't see T Grizzly get out the vehicle because they would have just followed him. Then that would mean the only reason why they would know that T Grizzly was sitting on that specific side was because they seen T Grizzly get in the vehicle on that particular side and they followed him to the location. Here's why that don't make sense, and here's why the facts of the case actually debunks everything T Grizzly just said and sort of opens this case up where anybody can be a suspect, and dare I say T Grizzly could be a suspect. Wu Thing kept his phone on the entire time he committed this homicide. I don't know what I would expect from someone who was still in possession of the getaway vehicle and the murder weapon, but he kept his phone on the entire time, and they were able to trace him coming into Michigan and leaving Michigan after the homicide. But they were also able to pin him at the crime scene. And this is why T Grizzly's story don't make sense at all. The cell phone towers pinged Wu Thing's cell phone at the murder scene for more than an hour and 56 minutes. So it started pinging around 7 p.m. and continued pinging until 8:56 p.m. minutes before the shooting occurred. That means that Wu Thing was at the murder scene for an hour and 56 minutes.
Yo, I just found that out. Bruh. 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 You going down for this, nigga. You deserve to go down for this shit. So, he waited at the murder scene an hour before you got there because he knew you was going to be there because guess what? You called him, told him you was going to, man, this is crazy, yo. This is crazy.
He was at the murder scene for an hour and 50 minutes before T Grizzly and them got there.
So he was there for 2 hours, camping out. Like my nigga Mars say, camping. My nigga some campers. This shit is crazy.
So he was hiding out. He was waiting. He was expecting them to come to that location. How did the shooter know that T Grizzly and his aunt was gonna be at the location if the location was an impromptu stop? If the location was hey yo, let's stop right here real quick. How did they know to wait out at that address for an hour and 56 minutes waiting for them to show up? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. And also, if they was at the location for an hour and 56 minutes, then they seen T Grizzly get out the vehicle, which will make sense. They didn't see him get in the vehicle because they wasn't at the location when he got in the vehicle. But they seen him get out the vehicle. They seen him walk to the side porch, which is why they came over, opened up that car vehicle knowing he wasn't going to be there, and began shooting. This is just my theory, people. And began shooting. This is the only story that makes sense, people. So, only story. I'm not saying T Grizzly was for backdooring his auntie. I don't know. I'm saying T Grizzly's story got to start adding up, people. It got to start adding up. How did the killer know to wait out at that location for an hour and 56 minutes if the location was an impromptu stop? The killers was at the location. You got out. They could have easily haunted you down, went and got you from the side porch. They watched you exit out the vehicle. They was at the location, and they let you go away. And they came and killed your auntie. What beef would they have with your auntie? It doesn't make sense, people.
It doesn't matter what. Listen, how would they know your auntie was gonna be there if the stop was impromptu, like they said? So, great fucking work. For real.
At all. T Grizzly offered up a response, and this is his response to everything you just heard, okay?
I just think the niggas about to go around trying to clear those shit up because it is what it is. As far as like, I ain't about to be certain shit you can't entertain, bro. Especially when it's absolutely nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Well, you do got a lot of them that go to the internet and think that everything they see on that bitch is facts. It's not a place for facts. You can see some shit dead in your face, chat. That's not true. So you think you can't be fooled by the fuck internet, bro? Bullshit.
So what will the motive be for T Grizzly to do this to his auntie, the backdoor his auntie / manager? And they're not blood auntie. Now, I talked to someone who was literally at the funeral of Jobina Brown. They were at the funeral, bro. Yo, I was told even at the funeral, people were suspecting T Grizzly because he did like interviews where like people close to the situation were kind of concerned about the stories kind of not really matching up in certain, in some interviews. I think in one interview, like T Grizzly said, yo, it was like a drive-by. They came and shot it up. Then the next interview, they said, they came and opened up the door to look for him and then shot the auntie. So again, those are not really a big deal, but it don't really line up perfectly.
Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer.
Ooh, I won again. What are the odds? Hey, double or
Man,
nothing?
what the fuck?
I was told from someone particular that even when Jobina Brown and this person would be talking or getting close, T Grizzly would get jealous. That at times, like T Grizzly would kind of get jealous. And Jobina Brown would tell this person, yo, T Grizzly, keep asking me about you, keep asking me why we talking, blah, blah. And Jobina Brown will confide in this person that she actually had an intimate relationship with T Grizzly. But the thing with this is, Jobina Brown is T Grizzly's uncle's wife who's in prison, I think. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think the uncle is in prison. I think Jobina Brown is the uncle's wife. She's not blood related, but she's related through marriage, I believe.
Oh, okay, in law.
So smashing the uncle's wife, allegedly got her pregnant. According to courtroom reporters, that that was allegedly brought up the first day of trial. That Jobina Brown could be pregnant for T Grizzly's baby. So that's a motive. The uncle is in prison. You got her pregnant. She's not trying to abort it. Man, we got it. That could be one thing. Jobina Brown invested in T Grizzly really early on when nobody else would.
It's a couple things that I would say. And shout out to Poetic Flacco. Appreciate the commentators. Appreciate what you investigated, what you found out. My take on this is, I think he did it. Based off of everything, all the evidence that I've seen so far and all the information that these young men have figured out and broke down,